Hey everyone, Stanley News Reports. Welcome back to another video, and today we're talking about the Stanley Cup, the review of the first round, plus me ranking them from number 8 to number 1. I'll be doing the ranking, and at the same time I'll be doing the review of how these rounds have gone. What an absolute incredible first round we have had. This has got to be one of the best first rounds we have ever had. It was absolutely 5 game 7s. That is great. It was just so much fun. And even some of the game 7s went to overtime. The Rangers and the Penguins, the Flames and the Stars, and they were absolutely so much fun to watch. It was great. It was really some great stuff. So, obviously, so let's just get into it, and then we can talk about which one. So starting at number 8, as we have here, I think it's kind of no-brainer to many here, and that is the Nashville Predators and the Colorado Avalanche. Now, going over on the series here, of course, Colorado won 4-0 in the series. Starting off with the first game, 7-2 Colorado, a blowout there, basically, right? A little bit close of a game in Game 2, 2-1 in overtime for the Avalanche. Game 3, another really blowout again here, 7-3 Avalanche over the Predators, and then in Game 4, 5-3 Colorado over the Nashville Predators. So that was kind of an easy, quick, bang-bang series, as Avalanche are known for this, to be in the first round, steamroll the team in the first round. Either that was last year with the Blues, sweeping them in 4, or the year before with the Avalanche, with the Coyotes, sweeping them in 4. It just been a thing, and then they get to second round, and you just can't figure it out after that. But really interesting here. Let's see how the Avalanche do. But looking at this Avalanche and how they have done, I think in the Predators, there's only one time they have ever led in this series, and that was Game 4 with the Game 4. They took a 1-0, 1-0 in the game. In Game 4, and then the Avalanche tied it up not too far after, and then they took the lead. So, Avalanche took the lead. So, it was kind of like over by then. Like, the Avalanche were going to sweep them no matter what. So, that was the least favorite one, but there's definitely some other ones for sure. Moving on to the second. At number 7 is Minnesota and St. Louis. This one was disappointing to me. I know a lot of people had Minnesota winning this. I did too, but it's just, this whole season for the Wild has been a great one. But except one team, the Blues. The Wild playing the Blues has not been the nicest to them whatsoever. In the season series, obviously the Blues led in that category. Winter Classic, the other times, I believe Minnesota won them at least, I think, once. They beat the Blues, but really the Blues really had a handle on them in the series. And we're like, well, that can change in the playoffs, but really did not. Starting off with the Game 1, 4-0. Minnesota lost to the Blues, so that was big. Starting that, trailing already, but knowing things can change, in 6-2 Minnesota. Then 5-1 Minnesota. Minnesota taking the lead, 2-1 in the series. Then 5-2 St. Louis, tying up the series. Then 5-2 again in Game 5, making it 3-2 in the series, leading St. Louis. And then 5-1, that's when they put Talbot in, but that did not help out too much there. It wasn't much of a difference between Talbot and Floyd. They played great, but the Blues just overpowered them here, shut them down in Game 6, and they lose in 6 for the Wild. But, it is disappointing for the Wild. But, we thought, even if the Wild went out in 6, I'm telling you, the last, 3 games there, yikes, 5-2, 5-2, 5-1. The Blues just took over. It wasn't a tight series after that. 1-0, and then 1-1, and then 2-1 Minnesota. Like, oh, this could be tight. But then after that, Bang. Nothing, right? Alright, moving on to the next series. That was at number 6. Here we go. At number 6 comes the Oilers and the Kings. Yes, this one went to Game 7. This was a fun one too, but there's other ones a little bit more, excitement, right? But Edmonton wins in Game 7. Obviously the inexperience of the special teams for the Kings, due to also Doughty being injured. That didn't help either, and, McDavid, Draisaitl, and the team of the Oilers were able to overcome anything and beat the Kings in Game 7. Looking at how the score went, actually the Kings led this one in the series. Game 1, Kings won 4-3. And then in Game 2, Edmonton comes back 6-0. And then in Game 3, 8-2. A blowout here for the Kings, right? 8-2 for the Oilers to take the 2-1 series. And then it was really back and forth this series. Game 4, Kings win 4-0. Then Game 5, Kings win 5-4, taking a 3-2 series lead. But that was in overtime. Game 6, 4-2 Edmonton. Game 7, 2-0 Edmonton, leaving Edmonton to advance, and Dustin Brown will be retiring after this series. So, yeah, that's how it went, back and forth. I thought the Kings, before the playoffs started in 5, the Kings were going to win. But they impressed me, the Oilers, but they got a big challenge coming ahead of them. Calgary. Absolutely, Calgary's going to be a tough one for sure. Alright, now, moving on to the next one. Here we go. At number 5. And that is the Dallas Stars and the Calgary Flames. This really came down to a tight matchup. Game 7 again, of course, the Flames win this. In Game 7, in overtime. Talking about a solid series here. Let's click on the Flames. Looking at Game 1, Calgary won 1-0. Then in Game 2, Dallas wins 2-0. Game 3, Dallas wins 4-2. So Dallas takes the lead 2-1 in the series. Game 4, 4-1. Calgary over the Stars, making it 2-1. And then Calgary made it 3-1 in Game 5, taking a 3-2 series lead. And then in Game 6, they tied it up here. Dallas 4-2. And Game 7, 3-2. Calgary wins in overtime. Johnny Gaudreau and Jake Oettinger got 64 saves in Game 7. What a great, playoffs for Jake Oettinger. But you have to also give it to Jacob Markstrom. Both goalies played absolutely incredible. And for the Stars, you got to look at that and say, hey, we got our true number 1 goalie here. Jake Oettinger. Right? That is your guy. That is your guy. So, this one was a good one. At the end, at first I didn't know, but this was a tight one. They didn't score too much in this one. This was a, tight goaltending matchup, which I love. Those matchups like that. Moving on to now, the last couple here. At number 4 comes in is Boston and Carolina. This was a good one too. Looking at how the series went. Hold on a second. There we go. How the series went. 5-1 Carolina in Game 1. Game 2, 5-2 Carolina, taking 2-0 series here. Then going to Boston in Game 3, 4-2 Boston. And then Game 4, 5-2 Boston. So, both teams respectively won the home games. So, tying this thing at 2. I didn't expect them to tie it at 2. I thought they were at least going to win the Game 4. But, proved me wrong there. And then Game 5, Carolina won 5-1. And then Game 6, Boston wins 5-2. And ultimately in Game 7, 3-2 in regulation is the Carolina Hurricanes ultimately win. Carolina is the better team here. Obviously, Bruins out due to a lack of secondary scoring. Used to have Krejci, used to have, different ones, not having enough of that goal scoring. Stung them for sure. Martian was there, Bergeron, Pastrnak, they scored, but hey, that's the first line. Let's talk about second line. Let's talk about third line. Let's talk about other lines, right? So, which, Carolina is a great team and they play in full, which is great for them. Okay, so, going into the top 3 now. Who are in the top 3? Going at number 3 for the series is the Panthers and the Capitals. Looking at the Panthers and Capitals, this was a interesting series, better than I thought it was going to be. The Capitals gave it to the Panthers here, but Panthers came out and 1-6, but it wasn't that easy for them. They had to come back in many situations for them. Looking at what we have here, by looking at the score, Game 1, 4-2 Washington. Game 2, 5-1 Florida. Game 3, 6-1 Washington. Game 4, 3-2 Florida in overtime. Game 5, 5-3 Panthers. And then Game 6, 4-3 Panthers in overtime. Which, Game 6 there, with a couple seconds there left, Capitals tied it up for overtime. So, that was a tougher series than I think people thought. And Oshie played absolutely fantastic. This team played absolutely fantastic. I was pretty impressed. I have to say, I was impressed how this series went. It almost went to a Game 7. Really, this could have been a Game 7. And I was kind of worried for the Panthers there, The Capitals, they were playing some good hockey in the playoffs. They were playing good. So, yeah. Moving into the top 2. Tampa Bay and Toronto. Yes, Tampa Bay and Toronto. This was such an even series for both teams. Looking at how things have gone. First off, starting off here with Toronto and Tampa Bay. Game 1, 5-0 Toronto. Game 2, 5-3 Tampa Bay. Game 3, 5-2 Toronto. Game 4, 7-3 Tampa Bay. Game 5, 4-3 Toronto. Game 6, 4-3 Tampa Bay. And then Tampa Bay ultimately ends this at a 2-1 in regulation. For Game 7, man, the Leafs were right there. They were right there. That thing went to overtime. I wouldn't be surprised if the Leafs won that. That's how tough that one was. The Leafs had a good chance. They just couldn't end it. Sad for them, but I'm a Habs fan, so I'm happy. So, moving on now to the number 1, absolute incredible one. Looking at the Penguins and the Rangers. What an incredible series this one was. The Penguins and the Rangers getting this one to Game 7. Looking at how this has gone. Oh my goodness, I love this series. This is my favorite one. I just love this one. 4-3 Pittsburgh in overtime. Game 2, 5-2 Rangers. Game 3, 7-4 Pittsburgh. Game 4, 7-2 Pittsburgh. And you're like, alright, this thing's over. Right? That's over. Game 5, Rangers win 5-3. Game 6, Rangers win 5-3. Game 7, this is where the Penguins led the whole game until they tied it up, the Rangers, and won in overtime. 4-3 Rangers in overtime. Panarin, I couldn't believe they did that. I thought the Penguins were going to win this game, even down to overtime. What a series that was. Absolutely dynamic series. Shesterkin, did he play the best? No, but he held this team in it to the end. He did not give up. And this team was down 3-1 in the series. They came back and won in Game 7. What a series that was. Absolutely. So, we look forward to the second round. This is going to be another great second round. That was just the first round. Ready for the second round? I am for sure. So, look out for that. And I'll see you next video. This is NHL News Sports. Let me know your thoughts on this. And if I ranked them correctly, this is my thoughts on how I ranked them. Certain these you could change. You can probably put Boston ahead of Tampa, ahead of the Panthers and the Capitals. There's different things you can do. But this is how I thought about it. Let me know your thoughts on it. So I'll see you next video. Bye.